about certificate. If you say you have it, just put it on the table. If they say discovery,
he lied about his certificate, then the Constitution is clear about the fact that he cannot be elected as president if he presented false documents as part of his, his qualifications to being president. That is very clear. So that's
Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu's certificate case in the United States of America is beginning to take a new turn. And this new turn is beginning to make a lot of Nigerians, home and abroad, to begin to ask this question. Is there truly something Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu is hiding from Nigeria? This is because the court ruled previously and gave an order of mandamus to the Chicago State University to release all the academic record of Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But in response, Tinubu lawyers, after Tinubu had briefed them, filed an appeal to stop Chicago State University from releasing his academic record. In that appeal now, they are making an appeal to wait till 27th of September 2023. This is really becoming questionable in my own opinion. I remember when I got my first job, part of the verification that was done by the organization was to ask me to send all my academic records. I sent them to the HR, and they verified all my documents. Why is it becoming a problem that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is trying to stop a process that will ensure that the academic record he submitted during the electioneering time, during the time he was filling INEC form, was legitimate? I mean, this is really driving a lot of Nigerians crazy. And the law is very straightforward about this whole matter. You will see it in this video. As you watch this video, share and another person see him.
Relief came the way of President Bola Tinubu yesterday following the ruling of Nancy Maldonado, a senior judge of the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois, halting the release of his university records to candidates of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the February 25 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar. The order staying the execution of Magistrate Jeffrey Gilbert on the Chicago State University was sequel to Tinubu's plea that releasing the said documents to Atiku would cause him severe and irreparable harm. Gilbert had, in a ruling on Tuesday night, ordered the Chicago State University to, within 48 hours, release the academic records of Tinubu to Atiku to enable him prove his claim that Tinubu ought not to have contested the February 25 presidential election on account of alleged perjury and forgery of his CSU certificate. The judge, in issuing the order, held that the applicant, a former vice president of Nigeria, had shown sufficient reasons why Tinubu's academic records should be released to him. The court also ordered the school's administrators to authenticate any documents submitted under oath. Tinubu had, in a fresh emergency application, specifically asked the district court to delay the enforcement of the order of Judge Gilbert till Monday, September 25, 2023. He claimed Atiku would not be prejudiced against if the court delayed the release of the said documents, as he still has up to September 27 to submit materials in support of his appeal at the Supreme Court. Right, so we spoke about this yesterday, and this is an update. The court and Judge Jeffrey Gilbert had given the school, CSU, 48 hours to release documents, and now there's a stay on that. We're fine.
So, I mean, I'm just trying to understand how the university records of somebody that is in public office being released will cause irreparable harm. I mean, because I don't get that line. How will it cause irreparable harm? This is a public figure, a president of a country. If you're a private citizen, nobody has got qualms with that. But you're the president of a country. You went to the people, you said, vote for me. You got voted in. And now there are cases as regards your documents in school. What's the big deal in releasing it to the people? How does it cause a harm or irreparable harm? That's the conundrum I don't understand. But the case has been on for quite a while. And I think the appeal will go out there, I think Monday or thereabout. You know, you're going to have more hearings and more submissions as regards the case. But the truth has to be said. Once somebody becomes a public figure, most importantly, holding a public position, definitely you should be open to public scrutiny. And releasing your university records for the sake of, authenticating things should not be a big deal, in my own estimation. And that's why the line of irreparable harm is something I don't understand. The school has claimed he went there. So why can't they release the document? Or why doesn't he want them to release the document? To authenticate the claim of the school. Pure and simple. The school, still reporting through the CBS channel, claiming he attended the school in the late 70s. So what's the qualm about releasing? So how will releasing the document of a school that was attended cause irreparable harm? That's a big question. I don't understand.
Well, I thought Justice Maldonado said severe harm, not that, it could cause irreparable harm. But okay, it's a question of semantics. But two things. Yes, I share the view that anybody that is in the public space should be available to public scrutiny. Because when you hold a position on behalf of the people, there will be questions about transparency and accountability, and even about, your own personal integrity. And the principle here is voluntae non fit injuria. If you don't like heat, don't go near the kitchen. But here, we're not dealing with that morality. We're dealing with two sides of it. The first side of it is that Atiku Abubakar and the PDP, they're saying that there were discrepancies in the academic records of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And what Atiku is trying to establish, his lawyers say they just want clarification, because their claim is that he presented forged certificates, and that this could have material implications for their own case in the Nigerian presidential election petition process. So they've now gone to the US, and the school, Chicago State University, was subpoenaed, and the request was an order of mandamus for discovery, for use. Okay, that's the emphasis. And the magistrate, that's Judge Gilbert, having said, well, the court has jurisdiction to inquire into the matter. Well, gave that order, which, was effective by about 3 p.m. yesterday, I think, Chicago time. But then, Tinubu's counsel went straight to the district court, where the judge now said, okay, we'll give you till Monday for you. And two things could happen. Either the judge will uphold the decision of the magistrate, or the lawyers will be asked to file their briefs afresh, and then the whole argument will continue. So if you look at it from that perspective, yes, the Tinubu team, they probably will not want the president to be embarrassed by any kind of clarification, which may then go into the public domain. But where the matter is that Chicago State University has already confirmed that he attended the university, and they had issued a statement before now to that effect. So the question I raised yesterday was, okay, this discovery for use, okay, what are they going to discover? And I was saying people should not speculate. Let the discovery be made first, and then it comes into the public domain. Then when the discovery comes into the public domain, because it's a civil matter, it's not as if it's a criminal matter. So the question is, in international civil litigation, can a foreign forum impact on a local forum? That is a question. Okay. Two, one of the points we made yesterday was that the Supreme Court of Nigeria, which is now going to hear the appeal, is not a court where you go and bring evidence. It's a court of public policy. It's not a court of evidence. But I also said there may be exceptional circumstances under which fresh evidence may be accepted. Exceptional circumstances. And it's only in the wisdom of the Supreme Court that will even be allowed. So nobody should speculate. Because one, you have to prove that there will be a miscarriage of justice if their lordships do not take a look at that fresh evidence. They will have to consider the weight of the evidence. They will have to consider the relevance of the evidence. They will have to consider whether the evidence is admissible. So these are all the weighty issues that lie ahead. So it's not as if it's an automatic thing. But, you know, it's possible to just say, okay, as so far as pointed out, what is the big deal? You know, about certificate, if you say you have it, just put it on the table.
I'm sure you heard very well what Dr. Abati said. What is the big deal about certificate? If you have it, put it on the table. Let Nigerians see it. I mean, this is really unwarranted. What is exactly the problem? What exactly are we hiding here? That is another big question. What exactly is he afraid of? What exactly is he scared of? Why is he saying that if they release the academic record that it will cause him unbearable pains or unbearable losses or whatever? I sincerely, I'm trying to understand this whole thing. You know, I'm sincerely trying to understand this whole thing.
If they say discovery for use, okay, you know, just, okay, let's see the discovery. But there are many sides to it, you know, and that was why I was saying yesterday that I did the issue.
All right. Well, I mean, that's very true in terms of waiting for the discovery. What we can talk about is just what's happening as the drama, as it is in this case, unfolds, just to find out, of course, a few curious things, as Rufai already highlighted, that if the university has stated categorically that the president did attend Chicago State University in 1979, a certificate was issued to him, then it shouldn't be a problem. I think what makes it more curious is the attempt, and very determined attempt, of the president's lawyers and camp to stop the release of his certificates. And so you want to understand the reason why this is the case, why they are adamant that they shouldn't, that the CSU shouldn't release the certificate of the president, which he, you know, authentically obtained in 1979. These are the questions that we begin to ask. And of course, the revelation. So perhaps from their camp, let his certificate be out there. Let's put an end to what is now becoming a national embarrassment, whereby the U.S. is deliberating, or a U.S. court is deliberating whether to release the certificate of the president of a sovereign nation who was elected. I mean, it's really, aside from the, you know, the election side of things and the morality of things, is the huge embarrassment it's causing to our nation, whereby we are contending as to whether the president submitted a certificate or attended an institution in a United States college. It's really quite embarrassing, to say the least. And so we hope that this will be put to rest. And it's very simple. CSU released the certificate. Let Nigerians or Mr. Atiku Abubakar be able to cite what has already been established by the university and on media platforms like CBS. Let it be established and let this matter be put to rest, and the president continue with the business of governance. He has already been established as president at the petitions court, first leg of the petitions court, and now the Labour Party and Mr. Peter Obi and Mr. Atiku Abubakar and the PDP are challenging the outcome of that. So if, and from the status of the president, this is what happened, he went to the university, it should be a very simple matter, in quote. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of harm it would cause if they're allowed to release these results. So from my view, it's just the national embarrassment it's causing to the nation, the fact that the exalted and elevated position of president is now put under scrutiny by a judge abroad, and we're arguing about certificates. And it's just really embarrassing. Let's end this matter and move on. So let's see whether, if he indeed did not perjure, then let him release his certificate. But what was also very critical to this is that in the event that a certificate that wasn't, that he lied about his certificate, then the Constitution is clear about the fact that he cannot be elected as president if he presented false documents as part of his, his qualifications to being president. That is very clear. So that's why it is important to find out and get to the bottom of this matter, not just for the benefit of the parties involved in terms of the opposition party, but the benefit of Nigeria and the integrity of the seat of the president. Very important.
I mean, this is not complicated. The law is very clear about perjury. If at the end of the day, Chicago State University releases this document and it turns out that there is a case of forgery, the law is very clear. Nigerians will escort Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu out of the presidential villa. Yes, because that will mean an outright disqualification that he was not even supposed to contest for the office of the president. Or is Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu trying to play pranks on Nigeria? I mean, this one don't go beyond pranks. How will a sitting president be playing pranks on people, filing an appeal and counter appeal? I mean, it does not make sense in my own opinion. I believe if everything is all right, tendering of certificate or documents shouldn't take 1 week, shouldn't take 1 day. You go there, pick the document by yourself and present it. And then tell whoever that want to investigate it or verify it to go to Amsterdam and verify it if they want. This whole thing is beginning to give us as a nation a bad name for a sitting president. As you watch this video, drop your opinion, drop your comment, and share this video with another person. God bless you.